Hi again, everyone. I hope that you all are having a good day. I am having an interesting time. Yes, we can see that I have on a hoodie and a strange bird just flew behind me. And I'm currently looking at something. But this is the day the Lord has made. We will rejoice and be glad in it. Today's topic is obedience. Obedience. There's a part in Samuel that says, I think it's 1 Samuel 15:22. There's a part in Samuel that says, it's better to obey than to sacrifice. Like God would rather you obey what He said than you to sacrifice something that He did not require of you, right? He prefers obedience. And Lord, have mercy. Okay, I'm not even gonna cut out. It's gonna stay right there. We're gonna leave it right there. And I guess a lot of us don't recognize this, but delayed obedience is also disobedience, right? So if it is that you heard God say, do this thing, but you want to do what you want to do first and then do what God said, that is in itself disobedience. Yes, you eventually do what it is that He called of you to do, and sometimes He gives you enough grace that you still get through with it. But remember that delayed obedience is still disobedience. So I guess I'll give you a story. I was there. We're going to ignore the noise in the background. So I was there, and God wanted me to do something, right? God wanted me to pack something. And I went and I started to, so I had to unpack first. So God wanted me to pack something. But I had to pack something in this, you know what? I had to pack a suitcase. In order to pack things into this suitcase, I had to take out the things that were in the suitcase out of the suitcase, right? To me, that's a whole prophetic thing right there that I could actually go down a line, but God didn't send me down that direction. So I went, I got this suitcase, I unpacked this suitcase, right? I had it nice, spick and span. And I had another container for the things that I had for school. So I took the things for school out of the suitcase and I transferred them into the other thing that I had. Mind you, what God said was to pack my suitcase, not pack the other container full of things for school, right? What I ended up doing is neglecting the suitcase I was supposed to be packing. I unpacked it, left it clean to pack it, but I went packing a container with things for school. I want you to know, about 15 or 20 to 30 minutes in, I'm still packing the suitcase, I'm still packing this container for things for school. What was God's instruction? Pack the suitcase, right? I gone packing another container. By God's grace, because this is only God's grace alone. By God's grace comes my daddy along. And my daddy's like, you're packing your suitcase. I look at him like, you know that's what you're supposed to be doing? Somehow, I was distracted so much so that what I was not supposed to be doing became my focus. And I don't know who this happening to, but lately the enemy has been throwing distraction balls, man. Distraction balls. Like God will call you to do one thing, and you will recognize you gone down a whole nother different road, only recognizing minutes and hours later, days, months, years later, that this is not what God called you to do. You know you have been in disobedience for that whole time, right? You know. When they told me that, I was like, I had to ask Holy Spirit for help. I had to apologize first, because technically that was disobedience. And I had like hyper focus now on the fact that okay, I need to pack this suitcase is what I need to do. And then I recognized how that day went. I recognized why God needed me to do it at the time that I did it. Because if I did not, I would not have been ready for what I needed to do, and I would have been tired, exhausted, annoyed, and frustrated. But God gave me grace enough to let somebody come along with a reminder. Oh, you're doing this, which is what you're supposed to be doing. So he is so gracious and so merciful. Because he could have left me. He could have left me and be like, I know I taught this girl, do this certain thing, she gonna do. But he is so gracious and so merciful, and we take that for granted. We take it for granted. We do too much, man. But yeah. So eventually, he gave me the grace to get back on track, and I got through that. But I had other things I wanted to do too. But because I was distracted doing that, the other thing I was not supposed to do at that point in time, I did not get through with everything. But yeah, to obey is better than sacrifice. He calls us to obey, right? So if you know that you've gone off track, just ask him for forgiveness first, because you know you're wrong. You know you're wrong. Don't play off. God resists the proud, but gives grace. Don't play off. You know you are wrong. Just ask God for forgiveness. Father, please forgive me for doing this nonsense. Because sometimes we just know we're doing nonsense, and it's like sometimes we intentionally do nonsense. And you want to know the funny thing is, even in the intentional nonsense doing, God can still forgive me. Not because he's gullible, not because he's foolish, not because he's dotish. But he knows if he does not forgive us, we get hell in a handbasket. And he loves us so much, he does not want us to go to hell. Don't let the enemy fool you. God is not a fool. The more you resist and he said you want to do what you want to do, the more your heart becomes hardened to his instruction. So it's not even that he pushed you away, but that you start to feel comfortable in the sin that you've been doing because you got away at first, so you keep thinking you can get away again. There comes a time where you can't get away anymore here. There comes a time you can't get away anymore. I think we should ask God for some malleable hearts that are able to be transformed and conformed to his will. Because now is not your time to have a hardened heart. To obey is better than sacrifice. Ask God to give you the grace to be obedient. Because sometimes even if you want to be obedient so badly, like me, I just want to be obedient so bad, and then I recognize when I do foolishness and I be so annoyed. But then sometimes even in that, I recognize there's pride. Even like telling God, please make me to be obedient. So it's sometimes even in that is pride. But then to ask God, Father, give me the grace to be obedient. Because in you having to ask him for the grace is you recognizing that you don't have control of the situation. Yeah, when you ask God, make me to be obedient. Yeah, but yet still, I guess it's not really you asking God to do it in the way that you see you have to depend on him. When you ask God for the grace to be obedient, somehow there's something to that. So yeah, let's ask God to give us the grace to be obedient, to be good stewards of the things that he's called us to do. Sorry that I look like I go into these thinking moments, because it's like, I guess I talk to you guys, but yes, I'm talking to myself. Because I don't want to just say anything anymore. I want to actually live a life. You know what I mean? It's all dandy to be on here. It's another thing to live a life, right? So yeah, to obey is better than to sacrifice. Alright guys, bye.